Alice was a little girl. Once, she saw a strange dream. In her dream, she saw a rabbit and followed it. She reached a strange place where she saw many strange things. Let us read about her adventure. It was afternoon. Little Alice and her sister were in the garden. While Alice was lying under a tree, her sister was reading a storybook. Alice was feeling drowsy, and soon she fell asleep. In her dream, she saw a white rabbit passing by. It was wearing a waistcoat, pant, and tie. Alice had seen many rabbits, but it was quite different from the others. She became curious. Suddenly, the rabbit took out a pocket watch from the waistcoat pocket and looked at it.
"Oh dear! I am already late!"
it cried. Alice thought that there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk. It wore a coat and it carried a watch.
A talking rabbit? A rabbit that wears a waistcoat.
Alice was burning with curiosity. Alice followed the rabbit. Soon the rabbit started running and Alice was after it. It crossed a field and suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. Alice too followed it and jumped into the hole. The hole was like a deep well, and Alice went down and down and down and down into it. While falling, she noticed that the walls of the well were lined with cupboards and bookshelves. Where am I? Alice wondered. How many miles have I fallen? I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Will I slip through the earth to the other side? She thought. Then suddenly, thump! Alice landed on a heap of dry leaves. She looked around quickly and saw a long passage before her, and the white rabbit was still there. Once again, Alice ran after it, but soon it turned a corner and Alice heard it saying,
"Oh, my ears and whiskers! How late it's getting!"
Alice turned the corner, but the rabbit was nowhere to be seen. Alice was now in a hall, which was lit up with a row of lamps hanging from the ceiling. There were doors and doors all around the hall, but all of them were locked. Suddenly, she saw a small glass table at the center of the hall. A small golden key was lying on the table. Alice tried to open the doors with it, but it didn't fit into any of them. Then she saw a low curtain. There was a little door, only about 15 inches high behind it. Alice tried the little key, and to her great delight, it fitted. Alice opened the door. There was a small passage, not larger than a rat hole. She knelt down and looked along the passage. She could see a beautiful garden outside. There were colorful flowers. There was also a fountain playing in the middle of the garden. Alice wanted to see the beautiful garden, but the door was too small. She couldn't even get her head through it.
"Oh, how I wish
I could become smaller," she exclaimed loudly and went back to the table. This time, she saw a little bottle lying on it. "Drink me," the label on the bottle read. At first, Alice tasted some liquid from the bottle and then she drank it all. She had a strange feeling, she thought, as if she were getting smaller, and indeed she was. Soon she became only 10 inches tall. Now she could go through the little door into the beautiful garden. But when she returned back to the table to collect the key, she couldn't reach it. She tried to climb up one of the legs of the table, but she slipped down. Alice sat down and started crying. Suddenly, she saw a glass box lying under the table. She opened the box. There was a small cake in it. The label on it read, "Eat me." Alice ate the whole of the cake. It was so delicious. After eating the cake, she was getting bigger and bigger. Soon, she became big enough and her head struck against the tabletop. She cried out in pain. As she cried, her sister asked anxiously,
What's the matter, Alice? Why are you crying?
As Alice opened her eyes, she found herself sitting under the tree with her sister beside. Lewis Carroll.